do that. Yes. So if I want to add a new color instead of black, so what will I do? I'll just type color, COLOR. Make sure you type COLOR, not COLOUR, because coding they follow US English, not British English. So you have to type COLOR and then the color which you like. If I want to add a red color, just type red and I'll go ahead and I'll refresh my browser. You see this title is in red color now and it's no longer in black color. Okay, so if I write COLOUR and I save it, I refresh my browser, you see this red color is gone. Why? Because the spelling of color is not according to the US English, it's according to British English. So you have to write COLOR only. And then the color which you want to add to your HTML tag. So I wanted to add red color. So I can add red color. If I want to add blue, so I'll simply write blue and I'll go ahead, I'll save it. And you see my color over here has become blue. Make sure you add this colon and this semicolon. If you don't add the semicolon, it won't matter much. What will happen is the next styling you do, this background, it won't show in your browser. Like if I just go ahead and I'll write background and then I'll add this and I'll write and I'll save this. You see it's not showing a background. Why? Because I haven't added this colon over here. And if I just add it, I go ahead and I refresh it, you see the background is also there and the color is also changed. So if you want to add a background to your image, I mean to your document, you just have to write background. Okay, just simply write background and this colon and then the color which you want to add. It can be blue, black, pink, yellow, green, and you can select colors online as well. Like if you go and you type over here in your Google search engine that color codes, and you'll see there are websites which give you color codes. So you can choose a color according to your liking. And if I just type this color picker, you can select a color from here as well. But what is happening, there are lots and lots of colors, you know, like this particular color can't be named green, it is some other color. So what you do, you can copy the hex code. Now the color part itself is quite complicated. There are hex codes and there are different types of color codes which you can add. If I add this hex code in my HTML web page and I save it, you see my color from blue, it will change to green. I haven't added a background color, so therefore it's not showing a background. So you can add hex codes and you can add RGB codes. So this part of color coding I will cover in another tutorial because it will take a lot of time to make you all understand, and even I took a lot of time to understand this color system. So for now what y'all can do is y'all can add simple colors like red. You want to add a red color to your title, go ahead and save your document. If you just refresh it, you see the red color is being seen. Now if you want to give the same color to your h2 tag and you don't want to write this code again, so what you can do, you can just add a comma over here and you can write h2. Make sure you write the correct tag name. If suppose if at all this is h3 and over there I write h2, you see this won't work. I refresh it, so you see this won't work. The font size became small because I changed it from h2 to h3. Okay, if I keep it as h2 and I refresh my browser, you see both the colors are red. It was quite simple. Why? Because I just added a comma and h2, and suppose if I wanted to add the same color to my paragraph tag, So what I'll do, I'll add another comma and I'll write P. I'll save it. And once I refresh my browser, you see all these paragraphs have become red in color. Suppose if you want to give a different color to all of them, so you have to follow the first step of styling. That is, you have to write the name of the tag, that is h2. Then you have to open curly brackets. Okay, not box brackets nor round brackets, only curly brackets. Then you add color and then the name of the color, that is and if I just save it and I go ahead and I refresh it, you see this has become pink in color. I know it's not that visible, but if I just increase my brightness, can you all see this has become pink in color? Yes, it should appear pink in color.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so suppose if you want to add another color to your paragraph tag, so what you'll do, you just type P over here, open the curly brackets, and then you'll write the word color, color, not color. Make sure it American English, not British English, and then you'll have to add the name of the color. That is that is up to you. I'll add over here blue, and then I go ahead and I save it, and you see over here it is blue in color. So there are many colors available. I can add aqua, and if you just view it, so this will appear as aqua color. So I think y'all can see it as aqua. So what if I want to add a background to my entire HTML document? So what will I do? What can I do? See how you wanted to style the h1 tag, so you wrote h1 over here, am I right? So now you want to style your entire body, so what you write, you write body, you open these curly brackets again, then you write background, and then the color whichever you want to add to your background. If I want to add, suppose say yellow, and if I go ahead and I save my document and refresh my browser, you see everyone has the background color as yellow. So if I want to give a different background color to the h1 tag, so what I can do is I can go in my h1 element which I have written, and I can simply write background over here with a colon and a semicolon, and I can give it another background color. Say I want to give it as aqua. Okay, if I give it aqua, you see my h1 tag has the background aqua and not yellow. So you can do that easily just by adding another background color within the tags coding which you did in the style tag. So I hope everyone understood how to do the styling part of the color.
Just one question.
Yes.
When you want to put all in the same color, like all texts in the same color, how do you do that? I think you showed it, but
Yes.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, so you just add a comma. Suppose I want everyone to have the same styling as h1. So next to h1, I'll put a comma, then I'll put h2, then I'll add another comma, and then I'll put p. And then if I go ahead and I save my code, make sure you remove the extra code over here. Otherwise, it will use the latest code. Suppose if I write h2 over here and I give it a particular styling, h2, and I give it a particular styling, so it will follow this very code and not the code on the top. So you can just add a comma over here, and you can give the same styling to all of them.
I did that, but it's not coming.
Okay, let's just refresh it. Yeah, so you have to just add a comma and a space. Is it still not coming?
Yes, it's still not coming.
So if you want, you can just share your screen so I can
Yeah.
check what the problem is. Has everyone else understood the color part and the background color? If you'll have any doubt, you can go ahead with that.
So in the styling, does the curly brackets have to be like somewhere specifically positioned, or is it
No, the
like where does
position
it have to
doesn't
be?
matter that much. See, you have added a dot over here after H4. You just remove that full stop. So it should work. You see H1, H2, H3, H4, and then there's a dot instead of a comma. Yeah, if you go ahead and you save it, and you can go in your browser and refresh F5. Yes, so it is working perfectly.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. So can you all see my text editor and my browser, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. So has everyone understood the color part and the background color part? If
Yes,
anyone
sir.
else has a doubt, they can go ahead with their doubt. So you see, I haven't given a color to my link over here. You see, if I just click on this link, I get redirected to YouTube. So I want to give a color to my link tag as well. So what I can do, how I've styled this H1 over here, I can just write A and then comma, and I can go ahead and I save it. You see my link tag also has a color and a background. And this particular format, like since my link tag is on top, then H1 comes second, then third is the H2 tag, that order doesn't matter. If even if I add my A tag over here for styling, so it won't make a difference. If I go ahead and I refresh my browser, you see there's no changes in my styling over here in the A tag. Even though if I had placed this A tag in the middle of my code and I save it, so you see there's no, okay, I think so it should work. I don't know, but the position doesn't matter. I think so my styling is not working. I just open my, and I don't know why it's not working, but before it was working perfectly. So yeah, I think so it was that extra comma I had added over there. So A tag and then comma, I save it, and you see the A tag has the same styling as others. You see I have an A tag over here at the bottom, so this A tag also has the same styling. Now if you say that I want my first paragraph to have red color and blue background, and I want my second paragraph to have the green color and another background, so you can do that easily by just going in that particular paragraph, and then you have to write style. Once you write style, then you have to add the particular style which you want to make or you want to change in your HTML document. Like I want to change the color, so I'll write color, and then I'll change the color to say yellow. Okay, if I go ahead and I save it, you'll see that my first paragraph's text has red color and my second paragraph's text has yellow color. So you can just do that easily by just opening a style attribute within your paragraph tag, and you can add a color. Now if you want to change the background color as well, make sure you add this semicolon over there. If you don't add this semicolon, the next attribute or the next styling won't work. So if I add this semicolon and if I write background and I put it as black, and if I save it, you see my background color is also different than the first paragraph. So both of these paragraphs have different styling. So this is also a way of styling your HTML document. So if I just remove this styling and I add the same styling within my h1 tag, so you will see that there won't be any major difference. There won't be any difference actually. So if I just write color equal to red, and then I put a semicolon, then I add a background color, background, and background, I'll put it as aqua. And if I go ahead and I save it, so you see my h1 tag has this color red and the background color as aqua. So I can just copy this particular styling from this h1 tag, and I can give the same styling to my h2 tag, to my a tag, and another a tag, and then to my paragraph tag as well. Why would you do so much coding when you can simply style all of them together just by writing the name of the tag, then opening curly brackets, then you write color, and then you can give any color like red, or else if I give green over here, and if I save this, you'll see the color won't change. You know why? Because the document will use the latest color which was assigned to my tag. So if I just go ahead and I remove this and I save this, so you see my color will become green, and it won't have a background. Why? Because I haven't added a background. So if I go ahead and I add a background and I put it as a red, I refresh my browser, you see I have a background as red and my color as green. So you can style it in both the ways, and the latest styling the browser will display. So if I had added this particular styling instead of green, I would add within my h1 tag red. So it would display red color and not green color. Y'all understanding? If anyone has a doubt so far, can raise his or her question either in the chat box or they can unmute themselves. So shall I proceed, or someone has a doubt? Okay, I'll then move ahead with the styling part. So in short, you have to just open and close these curly brackets after you open your tag. So if I keep my curly brackets over here down, it wouldn't matter. You see, if I just remove the styling from here, and then it will give the color as green and my background color as red. So I think everyone has understood the color part. So you can add a background color as well as a color for the text. Now suppose if you want to give all of these tags the same color in one go, instead of writing those commas, you can do this. I'll just show it to y'all. What I'll do, I'll style my body tag instead of styling my h1 tag, or else for that matter my p tag. I'll just remove all the styling over here. You see there's no styling on my HTML document. So what I'll do, I'll just go in my style tag and I'll just style my body. I'll write body, I'll open the curly brackets and I'll write color equal to say red. And I save it. And if I refresh, you see all of them has the color red except these links. These links are using the default color, that is purple. And all of the other content is being displayed in red color. So usually people don't color their link, so it should appear as a link and not as a plain text, so that the viewer who's viewing your website can differentiate that yes, this is a link and this is just plain text. Of course, if you just hover your mouse over a link, it will change its style, and from a pointer it will change to this hand type pointer, which a person will understand that yes, it is a link and not a plain text. So in last class someone had asked me how to get rid of these two borders and not this one border. So what you can do is you can go in your table and you can just remove this border part, okay, and you just save it. And if I just refresh my browser, you see there are no borders given to my table. So what will I do? I will style my table rows content, that is th and td. So what I'll do, I'll just write over here th comma td, and then I'll open these curly brackets, and then I'll write border, and then this semicolon and the colon, and then I won't write 2 over here. If I just write 2, or for that matter 10, you see there won't be a border displayed over here, because now you have to display the border in another format. That is, you have to write the value of the border, that pixels, or it can be in em or in percentage. It's all up to you. So if I write 2 pixel, then you have to write solid, and then the color of the border which you want to add. If I want to add gray, so I'll write gray. If I want to add black, so I'll write black. So if I go ahead and I refresh my browser, you see all of them have their own borders and not a common border. So if I would just write tr over here instead of td, I just go ahead and I refresh it, so you see it won't work. Why? Because in this case you have to write the borders value in the table tag. So you'll have to just go over here and write border, and it will just display the default value of the border. That is one. So you can do that just by removing this border, and you can style the th tag and the td tag and not the tr tag. So you can add borders not only to the tables, you can add a border to your heading as well. So what I'll do, instead of tr, I'll write h1, and if I just save it, so you see my h1 tag has a border over here that is black in color. If I change it to green and I make it like pixels, and if I just refresh it, you see it has a green border. So what if I just don't write this solid part? What will happen? What will happen is that your border won't be seen. So there are 3 types of borders which a person can add. It can be a solid border, it can be dotted. If I add dotted, and if I go ahead and I refresh, you see there's a dotted border which is added to my h1 tag, and it's not solid. So, and if I just write dashed over here, dashed, and if I go ahead and I save it and I refresh my browser, you see it's showing in a dashed format, like it's showing a hyphen, then there's a space, then there's another hyphen, then there's space. So it is up to you. You can add 3 types of borders. I'll add all 3 and I'll show it to you all. So if I just style my h2 tag, so what will I have to do is I have to just open these curly brackets. I have to write border, and I'll write 5. Just make sure you don't add a space between the pixels and the number. So you write 5 pixels, solid, purple. And if I just refresh my browser, you see there's a solid border given to my HTML document. And if I just style my paragraph tag and I give it another type of border, that is 4 pixels, dotted yellow. Okay, and if I just refresh it, you see it's a dotted border over here. I'll just change the color to red so you can see it. Yes, so there are 3 types of borders which you can add, and you can do a lot of styling within the tag. Like I can add a color to my title, that is I'll add aqua, and I save it. Make sure you add the semicolon, otherwise the next styling won't work. So you see this is aqua in color, and I can add another color over here, color, and then I can write this green and save it. So you see it has turned to green and it's not black. So you can do a lot of styling, and it's all up to you. There's no limit of adding styling attributes within your style tag. So you can have 100 lines of styling, so it shouldn't be an issue. But we prefer to have an external styling done when you have a lot of styling for your web page, or if you have a lot of content displayed on your web page, like you have images, you have videos, you have lots of paragraphs and titles, subtitles, etc. So it's advisable for you to have an external styling for that case as well. So I hope all of y'all have understood the border part and the color part. So what if I want to add a border to my website, the entire web page? I want to add a common border. So what shall I do? Can anyone answer this question? What shall I do for adding a common border to this entire web page? I want a border for all of this element of my web page and not just this title and h1 tag, h2 tag. What shall I do? How shall I do this styling? Anyone?
Write the title codes like H1, H2, and then put the commas and the space.
No, I want to give, like how I gave a common background, I want to give a common.
Do it within the
like
body.
this.
Pardon? I think so someone said something related to body, your clothes.
Body, can we do it after the body tag?
Yes, you're right. We'll just write body, you'll open the curly brackets, and then you'll add a common border for the entire web page. That border, and then your colon and your semicolon, and then you'll write the value of the border, like 4 pixels, solid, aqua. And if I just refresh my web page, you see the entire web page has a border. So this can be solid, this can be dotted as well as dashed. So it's all up to you. You can add any kind of border at any element. So it's all up to you. So I hope everyone has understood the border part and the color part. So we'll move ahead with another topic known as font size. So if you want to make the font size a bit bigger, like you feel that this H1 tag has a very small font, okay, I want it a bit larger. So what will I do? I'll just write in my H1 tags styling font size, and this font size can be in pixel, in percentage, and in EM. There's another form of writing the font size, that is EM. So if I write over here 10 pixels, And if I just save it, you see my font size has become 10 pixels. That is too small. And if I just change it to 60 pixels, you see it's become too big. So you have to adjust the font size according to your need. If I just increase my browser, and you can see this is 60 pixels, and you feel this is too much, you can decrease it again. You just have to make sure it is good enough and readable for the user, and it's not jumping on the next line. And you can make the H2 tag bigger than the H1 tag if you add this font size thing. Font size, if I add this as 65, and if I go ahead and I save it, so it should display font size 65. Yeah, I forgot to write the pixel, that is pixels. And if I save it, you see my H2 tag, even though if it's a smaller tag, it's being displayed larger than my H1 tag. Why? Because I have added a particular font size to my H2 tag, that is 65 pixels, and my H1 tag has 50 pixels. So you can customize the size of your content according to your need. So there's no particular restriction as such to keep it under this particular value or something like that. So it's all up to you to give any sort of font size. Make sure your font size is relative to your web page. Like if you add a huge font size for your title, and then your paragraphs and all, they are like in like 10 pixels or less than that, so there won't be a systematic view to the user. There will be a lot of variation in the reading, uh, in reading the content, and you won't the user won't like reading stuff on such a website. So make sure your font sizes are a bit relative, and it's in a particular sequence. Like if I have given 50 pixels to my main heading, so if I want to give a value to my subheading, so I'll write 35 pixels and not more than 50 pixels, not too small. So you see it's a bit relative. Like a person will understand, yes, this is the title, this is a kind of a subtitle or a subheading, and this is the paragraph which the person wants to display a lot of information and all that. So you can actually style your uh, ordered list as well. So how you style your paragraph tag, your header tags, you can style your OL tag and UL tag. If I just write OL over here and I just refresh it, you see my ordered list has a border, then it has a big font size. I just decrease it a bit. I read 20 pixels. You see, you can style each and every tag which is displayed in your HTML document. So that can be your table, that can be your links, and it can be your header tags as well. So suppose if you want to give this particular tab a larger font size compared to the other content which is being displayed in the table. So what you'll do, you'll just open the style attribute and you'll write font size, and then you'll give it a font size according to your need, like 15 pixels. If I just go ahead and I refresh, you see my 123 TD. It should display a larger font size. I'll increase it, like I'll make it 65 and I'll refresh it. You see my 123 has a larger font size compared to all the other data in my table. So you can customize the font size within the table itself. Like if I write it at 6 pixels, you see it's become too small over here. And you can give this particular data another color as well by just going in that tag and just adding the color which you like, that is red. If I just refresh it, you see it's become red. It's too small, you can't see it. If I just make it 66 pixels and refresh my browser, you see this particular information in my table has turned red and it has a bigger font size compared to the other content which is in my table. So far, anyone has any issues with the font size, font color, and the background color? If not, then we can move ahead with our font families. Like you see over here, it's displaying, I think so, Arial sort of font. So you can change this font either to your liked font size or font family which you like. So what you can do to select a particular font family, you can go in Notepad. See, many of us, we don't know the font families by heart. So if you just go in this font, in format, you just click font, you'll see there's a large list of font families being displayed. Again, it's not font style, it is font family. So you can select this particular font family which you like. You can just copy it, and then what you have to do, you have to go in your text editor, and where you have styled your H1 tag, you can style, you can give it a font family. Okay, I'll just style my H1 tag over here. See, now I've styled my H1 tag below my H2 tag, so it won't make a difference. So I'll write font family, and I'll just paste the name of my font family. And if I just save it and I refresh my browser, you see the font style is changed to this particular font family, Old English Text, MT. So you can add any sort of font family to any of your tag, and you can even style your link tags also with this particular font family. If I just go here and I style my A tag, also I can just add my A tag over here. You see my links are also in this particular font family. So if you want to change the font style, so you have to type font family, then this colon, then the name of your font family. You can get them on Google as well. If you just type this query, list of font families in HTML. So you see there are many websites displaying this content. If I go to this HTML website, and you'll see over here they have given lots of font families. There's monospace, there is cursive, there's fantasy. You can add any font family which you like. So if I want to add cursive, so what I'll do, I'll just copy this, and for my P tag I'll just write font family, and I'll paste this font family which I prefer to add over here. And if I just refresh my browser, you see all of them are in a cursive format. And you'll say this is not exactly cursive. Well, if you see over here, the font family which is being displayed is having the same style as I have in my browser. So here there are many font families you can get, and it's all according to your choice. You can choose serif, you can choose monospace, and if you want more options, you can go to your notepad, just click on format, then font, then you can choose your font family whichever you want. You can choose Arial, you can choose this particular font, MT extra. Like if I just copy it and I paste it in my text editor, so it should change to that particular font style. So if I like this font style, I'll go ahead in my text editor and I'll give my H2 tag that font family, and I'll paste it. If I just refresh my browser, you see my font style of my H2 tag has changed. So did you all understand the font family part? If you all have any questions, you all can go ahead with them. So it's very easy to change your font family. You just have to add this particular attribute in your styling, that is font family. Then you add a colon. Then you write the name of your font family. If I just write this as incomplete, okay, I don't copy paste the exact font family, you see it won't work. Like if I just keep this to old, if I save it, you see it won't work. You have to write the exact font family which you copied from your notepad or else from google.com. So there are many font families. Like on this website, you'll just see a few of them where there's this Times Roman, then there is this particular font family, and there are very less options over here. But if you go to notepad and you go to format and then font, you see you have a lot of options which you can add. So suppose I like this particular font family, I can just copy it simply and paste it. Make sure you just copy and paste it, and if you know the font family spelling by heart and you are sure that this font family is name is correct, so you can just go ahead and type it. Like if you know monospace, like you can just type it, save it, and it will be in the monospaced format. And you can choose font families from Google. There are other websites as well. This website was displaying very little content. If I go to Wikipedia, and probably I'll get more font families. So you see over here, you can select a font family of your choice, and you can add that font family to your HTML document. So I hope everyone understood this font family. If anyone has a doubt with font families, you can just raise that doubt.
Amir,
Yes.
this font family can be used from even the Word, Microsoft Word also, or only it is Notepad?
Yes, you can use it from Microsoft Word, but there are few font families in Microsoft Word which don't support the browser. So
Okay.
they might not work. So I prefer choosing it either online or else from Notepad.
Okay.
So if the font family is same, like Arial is there in Word, in Microsoft Word as well as in Notepad, so that font family will work. And there are few font families which are not there in this Notepad, and they are there in our Microsoft Word. So those font families might not work.
Okay.
So far we have we can just give this entire content the same font family, how we give all of them general background, I mean a border. So what you'll have to do, you just have to go in your body tag and you'll have to save it, and if you have to remove, make sure you remove this. Okay, if you don't remove it, then this font family won't work. And if I just save it, you see all of them have the same font family. Why is this displaying large? Because I have given this particular tag another font size and a color. So if I just remove this, I save it and I refresh it, you see it's back to normal. It's same as others. So you can add a font size to your tags, you can add a font color. For font color, you just have to write COLOR, not COLOUR. So there are times many students and many developers themselves, they make this mistake. They, instead of writing COLOR, they write COLOUR. So that particular function won't work well. So make sure your spellings are correct and your attribute types are correct. and not made up by yourself, or else if you're not sure about it, you can of course go on Google and you can always verify and clarify your doubt, because many of the developers, they prefer Google for solving their doubts, and they don't trust their partners or companions because they also might make mistakes. So far, if anyone has a doubt in either color, that is text color, background color, font size, font family, or displaying borders, they can go ahead with their doubt. If not, we will proceed with our class. So till now, I showed you all how to do internal styling. And if I just go in this document of mine, that is home.html, and I'll just add a few more things quickly over here. What all shall I add? I'll add an h1 tag, and I'll write something. I'll write an h2 tag over here. I'll write something over here. Then yeah, I think so this is enough. If I save it and I just remove this styling from here. So what is the first step for external styling is you have to click Control N, or you can go in this file section and then you can click on new file. So it will open an untitled document. Then you have to click Control S and you have to make sure you save it with an extension .css and not something else. So you can give this file name anything. So for you to understand it easily, and if a new person is reading your folder, so it's advisable to give it the name style. And then an extension .css. If you don't add this .css, what will happen is your code won't work. So you can give it anything, like you can give it abc as well, so it shouldn't matter. If I just write abc.css, it won't make a difference. So in order for me to link this particular style sheet with my HTML document, you have to type this link rel style sheet type equal to text slash css. Again, these two things are written only for information purpose and nothing else. So sometimes people link a bootstrap styling, so instead of writing text slash css, they write bootstrap, and instead of writing a style sheet, they'll write something else. So this is only for information purpose. And the main thing is href, so you have to write the exact name of your file, that is abc, with an extension .css. If you don't add an extension, so it won't work. Now if I just go ahead and I refresh, you see there's no styling over here. Why? Because I haven't added any styling in my css file. So in order for me to add any styling in my css file, you have to do the same styling which we did in the style tag. Like if I want to style my h1 tag, I'll write h1 over here, open the curly brackets, and I'll write color, and I'll give it a color that is red. I just save it and I refresh my browser. You see I'm getting the same color red which I was getting while doing internal styling. So the style won't be different, only the thing will be that you will understand your code easily. You can read your entire front end code and your entire styling code separately in separate files, and you won't get confused while coding. So if I want to style my h2 tag, what will I do? I'll just write h2 and I'll give it a color. I'll give it green and I just save it. You see my h2 tag also has the same green color which I was having in my previous internal styling. So I've just styled my h1, h2. I'll style my paragraph tag as well. So here I'll give it a background that is yellow. And if I just refresh it, you see I have added a background color to my paragraph tag. Now you can style your body tag as well in your external styling. So if I just add a background and I keep it as, say, pink. If I save it, I refresh it, you see I have given a background to the entire document easily. So you can style your data in either externally or internally. It doesn't matter. The same styling will be seen and the same changes will be seen. So it shouldn't be an issue if you are using external styling or internal styling. Now, if I link the same style sheet to my home.html, so what I have to do, I'll have to go in my head tag, then type this link rel style sheet. Let me check if it's in the same folder. Yes, I have home.html in my same folder. So I can link the same style sheet to both the documents. So I have to write the name of my style sheet. The name of my style sheet is abc.css. And if I just open this particular file in my browser, you see both my h1 tags have the same styling. Both my bodies have the same background. My paragraph has the same background. My h2 tag has the same color. So only the difference is that I have added less content in my home.html and more content in this particular file, that is amir.html. So you see there is no difference in both the styling, external or internal. What if I style an external, if I use an external style sheet to style my h1 tag and I do a different styling in my main document? If I just open my style tag, over here, and I style my h1 tag over here and I give it a color blue, what will happen? Can anyone answer this question? Which styling will be seen in our HTML document? If I refresh this page, will this color remain red or will it change to blue?
Home, it will
Change to
remain.
blue.
It will change to blue. Let's see. Yes,
The
it
latest.
changes to blue because in the parent document you have given this particular styling for your h1 tag. And if I do the same, if I just style my h2 tag as well, h2 tag, I open the curly brackets and I write color equal to black. I save it, you see it has changed to black. But if I go to home.html and I refresh it, you see there are no changes. Why? Because I haven't made these changes in their parent document. So sometimes it is required to do internal styling. If I style the h1 tag further, I open this attribute style within my tag and I write the color as yellow. So which color will be displayed in my document? Will it be blue or will it be yellow? Will it change to yellow or will it remain the same? It will change to yellow. Why?
Yellow.
Because you have written a style within the tag. So there is like a hierarchy that how we have the principal, then comes the teacher, and then comes the student. So the student has to listen to the principal and not the teacher. So if you write a code within the tag, so that code will run first, and the other code which is assigned for that particular font, for that particular tag, that code won't run. So suppose if you have like 10 to 15 h1 tags and you want the first H1 tag to have the color yellow, and all the rest should have another color like green, pink, yellow, blue, something like that. So what you can do, you can go to that particular H1 tag and you can add this style, this particular query, this small thing, style equal to double inverted commas. Then you have to write the attribute and the value. So suppose you want to add a color, so you have to write color and then you have to write the value. So if I want to add a color and I want to increase the font size, okay, so if I write font size, I add this colon and I write 25 pixels. And if I just save this and I refresh my browser, you see it has turned to blue. Why is that? What is missing in my code which is making the function not run? You see there's an error in this particular line. If I just zoom it, y'all should be able to find the error.
Semicolon after yellow.
Yes, you're absolutely right. If I add a semicolon and I refresh my browser, you see my font size has turned to 25 pixels and the color is yellow. If I change the font size to 45 pixels and I just refresh it, you see it has become 45. So this semicolon is very important. You see in English, we don't use this colon and semicolon that much, but in programming, in coding, these small things are very, very important. If you miss this semicolon in a C++ file, your entire application won't run. It will show that there is an error, and then you'll have to sit and find where is that error. So then you'll find that, oh, I just missed on a small semicolon. But in HTML, that doesn't happen. Some of the content will be displayed. Like it won't have a complete error in your code. Like if you code in other frameworks like PHP or Node or else in Python. So if you miss out on something small, your entire code won't function. Even same goes with JavaScript. If you miss out on something very small, your code won't function. But in HTML, even if I remove this closing of my body tag, okay, I just backspace it, I save it. So you see there's no much difference that has taken place. If I remove this closing of my A tag, what you will see that it is no longer a link. I'll just remove this from the top. Okay, and if I just save it and refresh my browser, you see there is no much change over here. Like if I click it, so it will still redirect itself. So part of the code will work. But if you just don't write the name of the link and you save it and you refresh it, you see the link is only not visible. Why? Because you haven't assigned a name. So make sure you assign a name. That can be any name. You can give it absolutely anything. So make sure you add a name to your link, and the reason it's showing in one particular underlined format is because I haven't closed the A tag. If I just go ahead and I close it, refresh it, and it should separate itself, but because of the catch in the browser it's not, but before it was. So I can separate it using the BR tag as well. It's not an issue. So far anyone has a doubt? You see it's separated from itself. So far did anyone have a doubt in this styling part of today's class? So they can just raise that doubt.
Amit, can you revise the paragraph thing, how we can change the color there?
Yes. So suppose you have two paragraphs in your HTML document and you want the first paragraph to have the background color as yellow. The second paragraph should have the background color as blue. So you'll have to go within the tag, within the paragraph tag. So not the first one, but the second one. Why the second one? Because you are changing the styling of the second paragraph. So you go in the second paragraph tag, you type your style equal to, then the changes you want to to make. Suppose I want to add another color, that is blue. So what will I do? I'll just write color, then this colon, and I write blue over here. And if I just go ahead and I save it, you see this color has turned to blue. So this is the way you can make changes in your paragraph. Like if I just copy this paragraph and I paste the third paragraph over here, I save it, I refresh it. You see only my second paragraph has a different color. Why? Because I have gone in that particular paragraph tag and I have added this small query, that is style equal to, then double inverted commas, then the attribute you want to change. You want to change the color, you write color, and then the value of the color, that is blue. Suppose if you want to change the background, so you can write background, and then you will see it has a blue color black background and a black color font. So you can change both as well if you add a semicolon, and if you write color equal to white, and if you refresh it, so all the paragraphs have a black color and a black color text and blue yellow color background, but this middle paragraph has a white color text and a blue background. Why? Because I went in this paragraph tag which is placed second and not the first one. If I would have done the same thing for the first one, if I just cut this and I paste this code over here, I save it, I refresh it, you see my first paragraph is following this command and not the second nor the third one. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
You're most welcome. So does anyone else have a doubt in color, background color, font family, or font size? So they can just go ahead with their doubt. It can be as silly as anything. No one is here to judge anyone over here because everyone over here is learning. So if anyone is still having a problem setting up their environment, they can raise that doubt over here and I can clarify it right now. So that's all for today. If anyone has a doubt, they can.
Amar, I just had a question.
Yes.
Then what is the difference between, wouldn't you want to just use internal styling as compared to external styling?
Yes.
Or
People.
when would you use it?
Yes, I'll answer that question. You see, I have this folder over here, and if I just go to my CSS folder and I click my style sheet over here, you see my style sheet has 460 lines of styling. Of course, there's a lot of space in between so that I can read my code well. So when you have so much of styling, if I just copy all of this, Control A and Control C, and if I go to amir.html and I open my style tag, which is here, and I paste all of this, you see my web page coding has become so long. So I'll have to first scroll through my styling, then I'll reach out to my main content where I have written my h1 tags, my h2 tags, and stuff like that. So when you have a lot of coding in your file, so you see over here, if you go down, you see there is 560 lines. 560 lines is quite less. It's nothing much. But there are times when you run into thousands of lines of code. So here you have to separate your styling file and your main file, that is your HTML file. So it makes it easier for the person to view your code. Suppose if your styling is very little, okay, like it's 10 lines of styling, it's still not an issue. What happens if you use external styling? You can link this same code to two different HTML documents. Like amir.html has the same styling, as well as home.html has the same styling, and I style it only once. So if you use internal styling, you'll have to write it twice. But if you use external styling, You can link the same style sheet to 2 documents, 3 documents, 4 documents, and n number of documents. It's all up to you.
So it
So
basically saves your time.
yeah, it saves your time, and if you have lots of code, it makes it easier for you to read your code, make changes in your code, so you won't get confused. You'll know that yes, this is my styling file, and I can make only changes related to my styling over here. And in my HTML code, where I have written all the other input fields and text, I can make changes of them over there. So it's better to have 2 separate style sheets if you're making a big website. Does anyone else have any other doubt? They can just raise their doubt over here before we end today's session. It's already, yeah, it's already 10. So if anyone else has a doubt regarding anything we learned till today, so they can raise that doubt as well. So it shouldn't be an issue. So that's it for today, I think. Shall we end this session, or anyone has any doubt? So if no one has it, so I shall stop today's class.